it's Diane, the Creative Inkster. It is Tuesday, January 18th, and it is Technique Tuesday. I'm excited to share with you how we use some watercolor pencils in our crafting. So let me pull this up a little bit closer, get a little bit more light on the subject. There we go. So this card features a brand new stamp set, a beautiful floral stamp, and I wanted to show you this same technique using a couple of different stamps because you might not have this one, and you can see how you can use different stamps, different embellishments, and obtain the same result. So I will go through that one at a time. But right now, I just wanted to mention that if you're watching live, please leave me a comment. And even on the replays, I love to know that you're out there watching and listening. This doesn't really have a technique name that I can think of, but it's watercoloring with pencils with it is coloring with watercolor pencils, specifically the white one. So we're going to do some stamping in one ink. You just need one ink pad for this, and then doing some coloring. I saw this on YouTube by Jody Breckbill in Pennsylvania. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, and I thought it was a lovely. Hi, Brenda. Really glad to share this watercoloring technique, if you will, with you tonight. So let me show you the different products that I used. Here's the first one. And this flower is from Prized Peony. It is also a distinctive stamp, and that just means that it has so much more layer to it in just one stamping. And this comes with dies as well, but it's in our annual catalog. It's called Prized Peony. I've hardly used it, so I was really glad to find a nice way to do this. Wouldn't this make a lovely set of note cards? So the embellishments I used were some of our basic pearls, just the ones we've had in the line forever. And I used the Evening Evergreen Open Weave ribbon. This is one of our ink colors, and I've used that. Now on all the samples, it's a basic white High Barbara card base and soft succulent, and then the ink I'm using is Evening Evergreen. So really some really basic supplies. I'm just changing up the stamp and the embellishments. So that was my first card. My second card is this one here, and it features the Forever Blossoms stamp. So in case you have this one in your stash, you could replicate this idea. And then the ribbons that I used on this one, it was in the fall catalog and it carried over, and it's called White Organdy Ribbon. It's glittered, so it has some little pink flecks in it. Quite shiny and pretty, and so I kind of thought I would go with something bright and shiny, and that's these new iridescent rhinestones, my absolute favorite embellishment in the new catalog. So that's this card. And then the third one I did ahead of time is with Calming Camellia, and that is the one that I'm going to show you again tonight. And a lovely greeting of You're in My Thoughts Today. This is the large stamp in the stamp set, and one of the greetings, You're in My Thoughts. And then I've used the matching Evening Evergreen chevron weave ribbon and these classic matte dots. So they come with white, vanilla, gray, and black in one package. I'm going to do a little bit of different embellishments, but I'm going to use the same stamp set. All right, so this stamp set you won't find in our annual or mini catalog. It is a free stamp set for hosts. So if you were to host a party or have a large order yourself that comes to $3.75, then you get the stamp set for free. So it's reserved for our hosts. So what we need, first off, and I'm using my Stamparatus, I'm finding with a really large image, you want to maybe go over it more than once. So the Stamparatus, two good things about it, many good things, but two things in particular with this technique is that this takes a little bit larger blocks. So if you only have the smaller ones, the Stamparatus gives you like all kinds of space to stamp on. And then, of course, because it's a stamp positioning tool, it allows me to stamp several times. So I just have this grid paper in here to help me line this up, just in case it runs, comes loose from the spot. I can stick it back in by lining it up on these black lines. These magnets come with it and they kind of hold it in place. And how you use this is you just simply position the stamp face down where you want it to be, and then you flip one of the two plastic sides over, press down, and that'll pick your stamp up because it's sticky on the back there. And then I just usually leave the stamp set under here. I find it easier for adding the ink onto it. Hi Debbie. Chilly, yes, I bet. So we grab our Evening Evergreen, which is just a little bit darker shade to the Soft Succulent, I find, or quite a bit darker, but a darker shade to the Soft Succulent. They're kind of in the same color family, I would say. And I'm going to ink it up. So I apologize for the camera flickering there, but they're all on the same table. And I'm going to swing this over. And then I use this dry erase eraser. A friend of mine showed me it helps get better coverage rather than trying to use, say, this part of your hand or your hand this way. And it's a little easier when you have arthritis like I do. So I press it down, get a little bit even coverage. I see I do need a little bit more ink, so that's totally fine. That's why I'm using the Stamparatus, is so that I can be sure to get really good coverage. Stamp all the way around, flip it over again. Because I have had the magnets hold it in place, it's going to go in exactly the same place. All right, lovely. And this will dry quite quickly because it's our standard ink. And how you clean these, you can use a baby wipe if you have one, but I like our chamois. I just stick it right over top. Actually, usually I would use paper to get some of the green off or the dark color off. And then I just take my chamois, which folds really nicely, only has water on it, that's all I need. I keep it in one of our stamp cases, and it's nice and clean. So flip this over and tuck this away because I'm done with that. And I'm going to pick one of the greetings. So I will leave this out and let you guys tell me what greeting I should use with this card. So there's You're in my thoughts today. Happy birthday. Lovely you. You make me smile. It's the little things that make life great. And I love being your friend. So if I leave this here, I'm hoping you can see that clearly enough. And let me know by the time I'm done, the card part, which greeting I should add on. I'm going to keep that ink pad out because I am going to actually use it. Alrighty. So the trick to this little technique is our watercolor pencils. They come in a box. I just kept the covering from the box and I keep them in one of our stamp cases. I have actually 2 grays in here, but normally you get 12 in a package. And then in here I always keep a blender pen because I often use my blender pen with the watercolor pencils when I'm doing techniques with them. So I just keep one in there all the time. You'll see this one's been sharpened a lot because it's the white and I've used it a lot. So I'm going to just move that out of the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to color with the watercolor pencil on these lighter areas. Just on the part where the flower shoots through. You can go right over where it's the darker green as well. It's not going to pick up. It's not going to go on your pencil. And you're just going to color in. It's just going to lighten it all up. And so you can add as deep a color as you like. It's going to make it pop up off the page. So here we have really a 2-layer card, which is a pretty light as layers go on cards. It's something you can do really quickly. And of course you could color with all kinds of the other colors in your watercolor pencils. There are 2 assortments. This one has 12 in it. I'm going to try to go from memory. I forget how many are in the other assortment. I want to say 9 or 10. I'd have to look that up. And so they match our regular colors. But this is the base assortment. It has white and gray in it. I'm actually doing the leaves here too. You could do this with a crayon as well, a white crayon. It's just that crayons tend to leave that waxy feel behind, and the watercolor pencils do not. So I'll try to hold that up and see how that just sticks out there. Hi, Judy. Good afternoon to you. It would be what, just after 4. Welcome. All right, your job, ladies, is to tell me which one of these greetings I'm going to put on this card. We're getting really close to the time when I need to make that decision. Okay, so that's it for coloring, I think. So I can tuck that away. And then I decided to go, it's the little things that make life great. How true. We need to remember that. We need to have that in our hearts, don't we? For embellishments, I'm using the 2123 in color jewels. I have a few of them left. I'm going to use the green ones that match. And then I'm using our 1/4 inch crinkled white ribbon. Now, what's lovely about this ribbon, and you may have seen me do this before, is you can color it with your alcohol-based markers. Doesn't work so great with your Stampin' Write markers, but if you have the Stampin' Blends, or even if you used Sharpies, I've not actually done it, but they're alcohol or they're permanent, so they would work just as well, I would think. I'm going to keep it white for today. All right, seeing no other comments, I just got a message that things might have blipped there, so I'm hoping everything's good. Oh, we've got You Make Me Smile. Oh, that's another one. Another suggestion. Okay. Well, let's put them on. Let's audition the card, as my friend out west would call it. My friend Lori LaRose. There we are. It's the little things that make life great. And the other one was You Make Me Smile. Does anybody want to be the tiebreaker? Or You Make Me Smile. I'm going to put my ribbon across the top like I did with the other ones. Now, I could do You Make Me Smile and cut it up and stick it on the sides here. That's a way. Or I could just stamp this one on. I'm kind of thinking I'm going with this. I hope you're okay with that, Debbie. That's what I think I'm going to go with here. So I've got my Evening Evergreen matching ink. Not a lot of supplies needed for this card, let me tell you. It's the little things that make life great, and it is, isn't it? So I'm going to line this up on my grid paper on lines to help me try to get this on straight. I am not always successful. That's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. And you know, if I mess it up and I'm really not happy with it, I can always stamp it again and put it on a label, and no one will be the wiser. Everyone will think it was designed to be that way. Now, did I tell you how you can get this? You need to have a party and have sales of $375. So if you want to have a party, you can do a catalog party. You just ask your friends to look through catalogs and place orders, all of your crafty friends. You are the hostess. I'll even do that doesn't cost anybody anything. You just place the orders. Or I'm doing Zoom classes. So I do the kits for you. They're $20 for 3 cards. If your friends place a minimum $40 order, then their cards are free. Your cards are always free. And then we take orders from that class. And I do it over Zoom. And so if you're interested, let me know. And that's how you could earn one of this. You're good with that too. Thanks, Debbie. You're so awesome. Okay, here is our coloring done. I think it's really stunning. This is a beautiful stamp set. I'll tuck that there so I don't forget about it. Now we're going to add a few little gems around here. We're going to keep it really simple. I'm just going to put one down here like I did with the others and just kind of sprinkle them around. And if you find your greeting is maybe a little bit not centered, as sometimes happens, you can position your embellishments to kind of draw the eye away. So I'm going to cut this guy here. Rather than waste a whole bunch behind, I'm going to cut this so that it a little bit kind of peeks out of either side. Flip it over. You can use glue dots, or some kind of tape runner like this, or tear and tape. Oh, don't stick it down on there, it'll stick. And then by putting a little bit behind, I'm just going to push that onto there. Try to get it straight. Okay, and then this layer is going to go straight down, but I want to go over it again with my adhesive to help hold that in place. And then put it on my card base. How simple is that? I think these will just make a lovely, lovely gift. And then I'm going to cut some off and tie a bow. And add the bow. The other way to do it is to take your ribbon and run it underneath the piece that's here and just tie a knot if you're not into bows, because some people don't like to tie bows. It's a lot of work, or they're just not comfortable with that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Come on. I got to redo that guy. Not enough on the one side. Not enough on my tail on the side. Here we go. Oh, that's a little bit better. Always goes better when you're not doing it on camera. Okay. Here we go. There's our bow. And we're going to stick it down on here with a glue dot. And I don't usually recommend putting anything onto ribbon, like I usually recommend putting it on the paper around it, because it can flop a little bit. But this is pretty light ribbon, so it's going to go well. Just stuck down here. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm going to keep these tails a little bit longer, just to kind of fill in this space a little bit here. There we go. Rid of that garbage. There's our card. You can always stick a few glue dots underneath the ribbon if you want to have it hold nicely. And there we go. So same layout, a couple of different ways. I feel like this needs a little more. There we go. So 4 different embellishments and, well, 3 different stamps, I guess, but 4 different ways to kind of do the same card. And I think this makes a really nice gift of 4 cards for somebody, which I think is what's going to happen with this. So thank you for playing along with me. I love the colors too. They're nice. They go so nicely together. And I want to wish you a really good week. I'm back sometime on Sunday afternoon with a quick organizational tip. It's just something I'm dropping in and doing. And then back next Monday for the escape room. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Keep well, keep safe, and keep warm. Take care. Bye for now.